Welcome to the Leading at the Next Level podcast with Dove Development and Consulting, the show built to provide ongoing support for your leadership journey. So, Cindy and I have had an absolutely wonderful opportunity over the last several weeks or maybe a couple months, whatever, to chat with partners for our upcoming Leadership Legacy experience on June 13th. And I stress the word partner because we're really looking for strong relationships that are win-win, not just sponsors that people can latch onto and suck money out of. We want to make sure it's a win-win relationship. Today, we've got an opportunity to chat. Excuse me. We've got an opportunity to chat with Courtney from the Greater Augusta Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we've just started developing this relationship. We've absolutely loved chatting with Courtney and what she and her team do, and how they help businesses in the Waynesboro, Staunton, entire Augusta County community, and how they really work to position businesses together for stronger relationships. So, Courtney, I've done a fair, hopefully, introduction, but what I'd love for you to be able to do is provide an overview of your professional background and just experience in the industry and whatever you'd like to share around what you do and the services you guys provide.
Sure. So yes, we are the Greater Augusta Regional Chamber of Commerce. We do serve Augusta County, Staunton, and Waynesboro. We have a variety of business members from small entrepreneurs up to the large corporations in our area. So we really do get to serve all kinds of businesses, which makes it really, really fun. I have actually been involved with our chamber since 2010. I started as an ambassador and then was on the board of directors and actually took position as president and CEO in 2020. Really has been a fantastic experience. We have the best members, the best business community. Absolutely love every day that we get to come in and serve our members and our business community, watch this area grow and thrive. And we always joke that we try to be all things to all people because we do have such a variety of members, but it makes it really fun and exciting just to get to be part of this community in that way.
That's fantastic. And Cindy and I have gotten to see that firsthand. We've not been a member of your chamber for long. We've interacted with you and your chamber through some of our clients for the last several years, but we've recently gotten the opportunity to become members and attend a few events. By the time folks access this, it may have already happened, but we're going to be with you at the breakfast coming up for business partners and whatnot in just a few weeks or days even, maybe. I don't remember exactly what
next
it
week.
is, but next week. It's on my calendar. I know it's there. It's my time spoken for. I just don't remember it off the top of my head. That's what reminders are for. Now, Courtney, you mentioned that you moved from being an ambassador. You started in that role in 2010, and you've had different professional responsibilities. But in 2020, you took on the president and CEO role of the chamber. What was your clear purpose for accepting a role like that, especially in a time like that, to where you really had leadership responsibility and not in pleasant times?
Well, I was very fortunate to have had the experience with the chamber that I did. So I was in business development for a bank prior to coming to the chamber full time. And that was, worked great with my role to be an ambassador here at the chamber and get to know the business community, get to know what the chamber does. A lot of people don't understand all of what the chamber does day in and day out. It's a lot of networking, a lot of advocacy, a lot of making connections and resources and just making sure that, our business members have what they need. It was a very interesting time. People always laugh when I say, I started March 1st of 2020. So I had a really good 2 weeks and then COVID hit. But I will say I am all about looking for the silver lining. And although that's not an experience we want to ever have to repeat, it did bring a lot of good to our business community and to our chamber. I feel like it made us really step out of the box and be able to share what our value is. We really tried to be that one-stop resource. We didn't have all the answers. Nobody had all the answers, but we were able to kind of be in the position to gather resources, get information. We were in a lot of webinars and calls and Zoom meetings every week, sometimes more than once a week, with legislative officials and people around the state and even the country who were able to give us good information that we could disseminate to our members and the business community. So it really helped to position us as a resource where people could come to us, figure out what they needed, and we could kind of connect them there. And since then, it really has helped us get in different conversations and groups and things that we might not otherwise have gotten to do. So I do feel like it positioned us in a great way. And we've definitely seen it come back to us over the last few years, since we've gotten past the pandemic, of people in the community who maybe hadn't been chamber members before, but now they see us as a resource. And that's what we want to be. We don't have all the answers. We're not the government. We are completely autonomous. We don't get any kind of federal or government funding, but we want to be that position of a resource for our business community, both who's already here, businesses that want to come into the area or grow or, have questions about expanding. So it has been a really good experience, since the actual stress of the pandemic.
So, Courtney, I love that, and I appreciate the value. Gosh, it changed everything for all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love how you framed that for the chamber as a whole. Let me dial it back in, because the next couple of questions I really would love to hear for you personally, because one of the things that we've wanted to be able to do through these conversations is really help the community know our partners in a way that maybe they don't know. It's one thing to have a logo shown on a website or an assets at an event, but we work really, really hard. How do people know who the individuals are that are in these organizations? What's been that driving purpose for you? Because that was hard. What's given you the level of fulfillment? What's been one of the biggest connectors, if you will, that you said, gosh, this is worth it? Because again, it's hard. All leadership's hard, but especially with what you took on at that time.
Well, I've been really fortunate. We still have a fantastic staff here. We have an amazing board of directors. Our community in general is amazing. We really have a very supportive, engaged community that wants to see each other lifted up. So for me personally, as a leader, I have always been in some type of leadership ever since I was a child. I'm an Enneagram 3, the achiever. I was in all the gifted classes at school. So all the jokes about, the Gen X kids, but definitely have always enjoyed leadership. I give huge credit to when I was, a teenager being in 4-H club. I mean, that was a huge leadership opportunity for me. I think it's just always been something I've been drawn to. I love that being able to see people come together, be the connector. We talk about being a convener here, and it's something that, myself and my staff really are good at, is being the connector and finding the resource. And, we're not the smartest person in the room, certainly, and just enjoying that, bringing people together. And it really is fulfilling to me when we see members who come together. We'd love to see a Facebook post of 2 of our members working together and knowing that we made that connection happen, or somebody calling. I had somebody call this very morning looking for a connection to somebody, and we were able to give it to them, or a new business who maybe needs some answers or some information on something. And we're like, oh, we'll point you to this person. At our hometown expo last month, we had a very small business come over and ask a question, and we were able to connect them with somebody. So that is very fulfilling to me, to be able to be that connector and help people. I think it's a great way to be a leader in our community by lifting others up and helping them, and just the people know they can count on you to come to them to make connections or get answers or resources. And, that's probably the most fulfilling part of my job.
Well said. Courtney, Cindy and I, that's probably why we've hit it off so well in our conversations, right? I mean, I tell people all the time, Cindy and I often get out of bed in the mornings with the goal of how can we put good people together? Who are the people that we know? And a mutual friend of ours last week, when I was chatting with him, Andy Van Hook, he says, hey, I try to be, not in a creepy way, but a people collector. Who do I know that can provide a level of service for somebody that I can't, but I can help them make those relationships?
Right. Thanks.
Now, you mentioned some of the stuff through school. You mentioned 4-H and a number of different things that you grew up through. One of the things I share all the time is I can sit in a garage all day long, and that's not going to make me a car. Having a title or position does not make me a leader. What drove you at a young age, but in your professional career as well, to really get involved and internalize that leadership development in whatever aspect you could do that?
I just think I was raised that way. Both my parents are leaders. My dad in the business world, my mom was a teacher, and she would never in a million years say that she was a leader. But when you're a teacher, you're a leader, like it or not. I think I just was always positioned that way and given opportunities, by teachers and different adults in my life, and have had good opportunities. I went to James Madison University, go Dukes. And got to be in some great situations there. And, a banking career, I was really fortunate to be at a bank that was very much supportive of employees, gave us a lot of opportunities for ongoing education and different ways to lead. And it's just always been something I think that comes naturally to me that I enjoy. And just, it does help, to have a great team around you and a great, support system, my family, my friends, our board again. And it just really is fulfilling in that kind of way too.
That's awesome. I love what you said about your mom, that she would say, no, I wasn't a leader. But hey, I say all the time, the reality is leadership's influence. And I've heard it from John Maxwell for more than 25 years. Leadership has influenced nothing more, nothing less. It's not about that title or position. It's about the positive impact, ideally positive. We're going to make an impact. Hopefully it's positive on whoever it is around us. And that's where leadership comes from. When Cindy and I initiated the conversation, when we started the conversation with you about the event that we're doing on June 13th, why were you willing, as we've talked, why were you willing to lock arms with us as a partner for this Leadership Legacy experience?
Several reasons, actually. Live to Lead has been super successful. Heard, wonderful positive things about that over the years and seen the growth of that. I love any kind of leadership and professional development. I'm always reading some kind of book. I'm always listening to podcasts. We here at the Chamber have our Leadership Greater Augusta program, which I participated in now 10 years ago. But I love getting to do that every year. So I feel like any kind of leadership and professional development, we say our program is for existing and emerging leaders. And I think that's what you all believe too. You can be a leader at any level. You don't have to be the CEO or the person in the corner office. Anybody can be a leader within their community, within their organization. I love to see people's light bulbs go off that come into our program, and we take them to, a board of supervisors meeting, and they realize there are ways they can get involved in their community, even though they aren't necessarily a leader at work. They may not be leading a team, but you're leading your family. You may be leading at your church. You may be leading at a volunteer organization. And I just feel like events like you all are hosting with the leadership, it's so important because it does draw in those people who want to make a difference. I think that's one thing that we always see in common at some of these events is people that truly are involved and invested in their communities. They want to make a difference. It's exciting how much this program is growing and the exciting new stuff that you all are bringing in June. I think it's going to be a fantastic event and a whole new just level up. And like I told you guys during our meeting before, the fact that we have this caliber of conference right here in our backyard is just phenomenal. Normally you would drive hours for something like this, but, for you all to be bringing this here, I just think it's exciting and it's going to be an amazing opportunity for everyone around. And I really hope they take advantage of it.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, historically, our Live to Lead event, we've done at a wonderful facility, Blue Ridge Community College, Plecker Workforce Center, and we've done roundtables, and it's always been at capacity. But as we speak right now, and Early Bird's about to end soon, within a week or so of recording this, we're at about 50% more folks than we've ever had at a Live to Lead event. And we know it's going to be well more than that. There's more than 100 companies represented from all over the East Coast and the Midwest as well. So it's kind of wild to see how it's grown. And so thank you for sharing that. We worked really, really hard, but we've got a lot of work in front of us in the next 6 weeks or so leading into the event.
No pressure.
No, you've shared some of this, and you've mentioned some of the stuff that you and your team do at the Chamber. But what do folks not know? What would you like the community to know about the organization that they probably don't know, or maybe take for granted, or don't realize at all?
Probably something that we talk about a lot. I think people think about the Chamber as, business after hours. And we love that. We love networking. And we have really found that our people here love relationship. They want to know who they're working with. They want to look you in the eye. They want to shake your hand. So relationship and community is incredibly important here. And again, just that resource and relationship building. And I think something specifically to our team, there's only 3 of us here at the Chamber. And I think something that we would want people to know is it's not about the numbers. It's not about the numbers of members. It's not about the Chamber. It is about the community. That's what we're here doing day in and day out. We always joke, we never take off our Chamber hat. Because we're seeing people out in public. We're seeing, getting Facebook messages all the time or emails or texts. And, we feel like we always have that Chamber/community hat on. And it's more than just a job to any of us. We show up here, Monday through Friday, but we're 24/7, well, at least close to 24/7, thinking about the community and what can we do, and noticing a new business that's opened, or a business that's closed, or a business that's for sale, or somebody that's talking about expanding, and thinking of ways of how we can help and how we can make the community better. So I think just people seeing us as a resource, we kind of joke about, people will call here, we call them the Google calls, where they call and ask about the Virginia Scenic Railway, or they call and ask what's the best weekend to come to see the leaves changing color. And we call those our Google calls, but we really do kind of love that people see us as that resource, and that's what we want to be. So I think that's probably what we would want people to know about the chamber, is just we're here, we're a resource, and it's all about our community.
Well, I love what fantastic answers. I would accuse you of prepping for this, but I'm not sure if you did or not, but this is fun. Just for perspective, I've spoken with 3 of your different members just this morning that are clients and just dear friends of ours that we get to work with. So it's neat to have that connecting people with one another. And I'll say, we came to one of the ribbon cuttings you hosted recently at Taste of India. Mm-hmm. And it was so neat. We came because, gosh, we know some of the folks that own the stores here in Harrisonburg, and how that's a family tie, and so on and so mm-hmm. forth. And they were there, and we got to see them, and it was so fun. But we also met one of your ambassadors, Quentin. And what a wonderful relationship that's already becoming. So, Courtney, we appreciate how you work to connect people, and you work to be that resource.
We love it. That's what we're here for.
Indeed. Talk about some type of project or campaign that you guys have done. Maybe folks don't realize that, but you're involved in a lot. You spearhead different things. Is there a campaign that's really had an impact on the community that you're proud of that you can speak to?
Well, I mentioned a few minutes ago our Leadership Greater Augusta program. I think that's one that I in particular am really, really proud of. So that's our longest running program. It's been around since 1984. So our chamber actually came about as the merger of the Staunton Augusta County Chamber and the Waynesboro East Augusta Chamber that merged in 1999. So those have been around since the 1920s and the 1940s, respectively, merged in 1999 to be the Greater Augusta Regional Chamber, serving all 3 localities. But Leadership Greater Augusta started in 1984 and has been around since then in some form or fashion. It's obviously gone through several iterations, but I think that's probably what I'm most proud of and love. It's our 9-month professional development program that runs from September to May. So we're getting ready to graduate our newest cohort. So that one I think is really fantastic. Any of our big events, we do a lot of events throughout the year, but you mentioned our breakfast coming up next week. So we do a business appreciation breakfast in partnership with our 3 localities. We do that every year to kind of give a local update. And this year it's actually going to be a Blueprint Virginia event with the new Virginia Chamber President and CEO, Kathy Vick. So this will be her first official event that she's doing since she took her position on April 1st. So we're really excited to get to host her. That event is sold out. Just things like that keep growing. Our golf tournament, we have some real serious golfers here. That sells out every year. We do our hometown expo in March, which we brought, this is our 3rd year we've done that, to just show off all the businesses that are here, from small to large, you name it. We had vendors there. That's grown every year. That's what we like to see, is introducing our community to the businesses that are here and to what's here, because this is such a great place to live, work, play, worship, all the things. And we want people to know that. So I think those are probably the things when we're able to take our members out into the community. That's always really exciting and fun for us.
Very cool. And, again, I'll mention ribbon cuttings and the different stuff that we've been able to set in on and visit. It's just so neat to see the value you add and the intentionality you put behind. How can we help the businesses that either have a new location, start, join, whatever the case may be, help make them visible, help bring a new or a greater client base to them. It's just fun to see. And how do we make those stronger connections through it?
And I'm glad you said ribbon cuttings. Ribbon cuttings are so much fun, and it's open to the public. If people see it, we put them on our Facebook page. A lot of times the media will share them, but those are open to the public. We love, love, love to show up and celebrate either a brand new business or one that's expanded or grown or moved into a new location because they needed more room. But those are just such a fun way to celebrate with a new business. And again, it shows growth. It's a business that chose, Taste of India that you mentioned that we were at just a couple weeks ago. Perfect example. They've had a very successful, popular location in Staunton for years, decided to move into Waynesboro. It was a great ribbon cutting. They've been doing really well since then. We had, of course, Texas Roadhouse. Everybody loves Texas Roadhouse. That Facebook post alone from that ribbon cutting had over 30,000 views. So, those kinds of things are what help. You may be a small business, but doing a ribbon cutting gains so much media attention. Everybody's on social media, so they're seeing it there. It's a small way. Ribbon cuttings are free for our members, so it's a great way to get to celebrate. We have humongous scissors, and everybody's always surprised, like, oh, they're real. Yeah, they're real, and they're really heavy. But it's fun. It's just a really fun way to celebrate and let the community know what's happening and seeing growth. And again, rising tide lifts all ships. That's what ribbon cuttings are.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the first personal interactions that Cindy and I had with you outside of events that we were hosting and just running in all different directions was an event where you were running in all directions, but it was a ribbon cutting for Waynesboro Landscape and Garden Center. And while the company's been there since 1946, the new owners, Craig and Kim Johnson, are dear friends of ours. And that's just so fun to see. And by the way, I'll make a quick plug for Craig. He's going to be on one of the executive panels at the event. And I'm going to see them tomorrow afternoon as we share this. So
they have a cool story.
Oh yeah. And their family and their involvement coming in and some of the other businesses that they've acquired and put under the same banner. And it's fantastic to watch. Courtney, you've talked about this a little bit, but I want to tie it together specifically. You've talked about where you got fulfillment when you were looking at, hey, do I come on board with the chamber? Do I take this role? What about the purpose of the chamber that you knew, that you'd experienced as an ambassador, really aligned with your own personal values and purpose that you said, yeah, this is the right thing for me?
I think just all the good that the chamber does in the community. I really had gotten such a great exposure to it. And again, I was really glad that I'd had so many years as an ambassador before coming into this role, especially given that the pandemic started right after. I had a really nice business plan that I had showed the hiring committee and then, tossed that out the window, of course. But this community in particular and the chamber world in general is just so supportive and engaging. Some of my very best friends work at chambers across the state, across the country. And it just is the most supportive and giving industry that there is. And then again, to be part of our community that is so engaged and so into giving back and relationship, this is the best job. I can't imagine. I really hope to do this until they have to drag me out until I'm too old to type anymore. But it fits exactly all of my experience, my education, background, job I've had before. It just all tied in perfectly to this role and getting to be here at the chamber and just be part of our community in this way. There's really no words. We have rough days like everybody else, but I love coming out on Monday morning. I'm never sad to be here and get out to be with our members and see what they're doing and learn more. I love hearing people's stories. And that's such a big part of this job, is going out and talking to our members and what's your story? Why did you start this business? Why did you come here in particular? And I love learning about people. I'm a huge reader, so that's probably part of it too, is getting to talk to people and hear their stories. So I think all those things have just blended together and made this such a great place to be.
I love the answer, but more importantly, I love the enthusiasm you gave the answer with. And there's a part, I think it's a segment of a chapter. I don't think it's a chapter title. Actually, it might be a chapter title now that I think about it. In my newest book, Leading with Clear Purpose, that's the theme of the event in June, is how do we build that purpose into what we do as leaders? Because you're right, some days it's hard. And without that purpose to draw on, it might be easier to go make widgets somewhere, right? Than lead. But how do we help our teams understand, here's what the organization's purpose is, but here's what yours is, and how do we connect those together? And that's what you just defined. Here's how you do it in your role. And what Cindy and I get so much pleasure from is hearing anybody in any role say, here's why I love what I do, because that means they've got purpose.
Right.
Rather than time to make the donuts. And no offense to donuts, you get my reference, right?
That would be a great job, though. I will say making donuts would probably be a really good job.
Indeed. I'm glad I don't have to do it today because I've been almost no carbs for the last 9 months, but that would be really, really tough to fight off. But anyway. So, Courtney, as we're kind of bringing this to a close, what advice would you give to a young, or not even young, but an aspiring professional that's looking to advance their career and more specifically, earn leadership responsibility, not get into a position with a title, but earn that responsibility to where people really, truly look to them for leadership?
I would say learn everything you can, ask questions. I think it's easy to, see younger generations who want to come in and immediately be the CEO and make six figures. But again, proud Gen X here, baby Gen X, I guess, we worked our way up and we had to learn and we took the steps on the ladder and all the things. I really feel like it's important to, find a mentor. I've had several over the years who, whether they were, formal mentors or not, they were people that I could learn from and ask questions. You can't be afraid to ask questions. You can't be afraid to say, I don't know. I feel like we're always learning. I will never know everything. You would say the same. I think it's so important to continue to be a learner your whole life, whether it's by reading or listening to podcasts or going to amazing conferences. It's really important to keep pouring into yourself, look for ways to grow, look for people to learn from. And that's up and down. It may be people ahead of you in your journey. It may be people younger than you that can teach you things. So I think that's important. Never get stagnant. I think it's probably easy in some point to get stagnant. And then once you've done that, you've kind of given up. So, never give up and just keep reaching for the next goal. Enjoy what you do. I know not everybody can do that every day, but if you can find passion and purpose, like you said, purpose is so important, in whatever you do, whatever level of company you're in or whatever you do every day, finding a purpose and being able to find something you enjoy in every day. You may not enjoy the whole day, but there's something about the day, the practice of gratitude and just enjoying the people that you're with. And I just think there's so many different ways that we can continue to stretch ourselves and grow and just enjoy every day.
What a fantastic response. That's powerful and great advice. I mean, Cindy and I think when we chatted, we were telling you about a couple of the groups that we do, one of which we call our Executive Leadership Elite Think Tank. And it's a group of 15 or so executive CEOs, business owners that we've worked with for years. And I told them the other day, we are responsible to provide them with a organizational leadership lesson. But my goodness, they stretch me. Every single person in that group are folks that we're blessed to be able to interact with, and I can consider them as mentors in my life in some way, shape, or form. We try to provide some value to them, but I'm not sure that I'm not getting more from them than they are from me. Hopefully I'm delivering back to them. I think they are, or they wouldn't stick around. But the reality is, oh my gosh, they stretch me and they force me to get better, and they help me get better. And that's true for every aspect of our lives. So thank you.
And they're in that group because they want to get better. They're not complacent. They want to get better and grow and stretch. And I just think, we love having our round tables where people come together and share best practices and ideas, and that gets you motivated and excited. It's just, every day can be something.
Yes, ma'am. It's strong. Courtney, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. We're thrilled to be able to have the partnership with you guys and just hopefully add a level of value to you individually, but also the team and the members of the organization through the event that we do in June, but also through anything else we can provide. So thanks for those opportunities. Before I wrap up, is there anything else that I've not asked you that you'd like to share that you feel like, gosh, I want people to know about this?
I don't think so. I mean, our website has lots of information and events and things coming up, and we would love to talk to any business owner in the area that either is not a chamber member or maybe they are and they don't really take advantage of their membership. We'd love to help you find ways to do that. And we are here for whatever our business community needs.
Outstanding. And hey, I'll say that Cindy and I have been members of our local chamber, but now yours, and it's not a spectator sport. You've got to be engaged to get value. It's God can't steer a parked car, right? So
I like that.
It's fantastic. Thank you for this. We appreciate the time. As I close, I'll share that if you're seeing this, hearing this, whatever, and you've got a need for continuing education credit specific to the HR community, but we work with some others too. Our entire Leading at the Next Level program, the digital course itself, has more than 160 hours worth of lessons that Cindy and I have written since 2018. That's all approved for Sherman HRCI credit, but we do some other stuff too. And we add new stuff monthly to that. If you would like to kick the tires, send us an email at scratch that. Send us an email at admin@dove-development.net, and we'll hook you up with a 45-day all-access trial to kick the tires, see if you get some value or whatever. With that said, again, Courtney, thank you so much. Make it a great day, guys. God bless.